Okay, time to, well, that's pretty loud. Okay, we'll get this started. I appreciate the time the day before school, trying to get this knocked out here and go through a bunch of important information. We will have throughout this, we'll stop for some raffles of some different things, family sports passes, a couple other odds and ends, one little surprise about midway through, but we'll try to break it up with that. This is the first year I'm going to try to put myself on a clock, and hopefully maybe we do it better than 50 minutes. But I don't know if it's good for you or bad, because they say time really stands still when you watch it tick down. So I don't know how that'll go, but at least it'll put me on some sort of watch, and we'll try to move this along to get you home. But let's go ahead and start the time. Uh-oh, 3 seconds in already. I'm feeling the stress. Wanted to go ahead and just make sure everybody had a name and a face. We still have some practices going on, so we want to get Sarah back out to those. But Sarah Walker is our athletic trainer. Witham Sports Medicine does a great job of providing our health care for our athletes. And basically anything that would come up, that's her email address and phone number. If you would need her for some reason, if you get into an injury situation, she's going to get into direct contact back and forth with you. Oftentimes her first primary mode of communication will be final forms, like the athletic department, but that is her information. And Dr. Kraft is our team doctor, and he will this year do injury checks on Tuesdays each week. It's been Mondays in the past. He's moving that to Tuesdays. But that's Sarah, our trainer, and we appreciate all Witham does for us. And with that, you have anything for us? You can head back out then. One slide down. I better pick up the pace. Okay. A couple things from last year I want to go over. Just, as you look at these slides, I won't go through everything, but had a lot of success last year. These are, high school team champions and individual champions at the state tournament level that we had. We had multiple state qualifiers in multiple sports, academic all-conference recognitions, regional qualifiers. We had 68 athletes recognized as all-conference in the Sagamore Conference. So that's an impressive feat for athletes and a lot of success last year. We have an athletic ambassador program that's going into its 7th year. They are a group that goes down and works on pillars of character lessons with the 3rd graders at the elementary schools. They're also what we just kind of dub as the face of our athletic program. They're the ones reading the sportsmanship statements before meets, before athletic events. They're the ones that if we host sectionals or host the junior high Sagamore Conference girls basketball tournament, they're often the team hosts and are involved in helping us with hospitality and different things like that. On the junior high awards nights, they're, helping with the cookies and drinks and all of that stuff. So these are those members. We had an opportunity, the IHSAA Leadership Conference, we always take them to, Coach Pelly and I, and we had a chance to take them to the to IMS this year. And I was surprised how many of our ambassadors had never been there. I got to ride around the track, go up where they drink the milk and raise the car up, and go into the media center. And really neat experience. But this is a group that, we just kind of dubbed the face of our athletic programs, and they're nominated by our coaches. And there is a criteria similar to like a National Honor Society or some program like that takes criteria over multiple levels to decide who those are. So you'll see them throughout the year. Our strength and conditioning program, in our opinion, is a large part of why we, along with multi-sport athletes, are as successful of an athletic program as we are. This year at the high school level, we had 113 athletes make what we call our breakfast club. Breakfast club, you have to go to 18 of the 21 sessions that go over the 7 weeks of the summer, not including dead week, moratorium week. We had 35 female athletes and 78 male athletes, and we had a large number of our coaches that helped assist and make this possible. So what Nate Burke does with our strength conditioning program, I feel is unmatched for a school our size, simply unmatched. And when we put this stuff out on social media, I go to conferences and talk to different athletic directors. They just don't understand how we do it. And really, it's taken a lot of time and a lot of commitment, from a lot of people to kind of instill this. But a very neat thing to have 113, which is a record for us to meet Breakfast Club. Multi-sport athletes, we give a patch for 3-sport athletes. When you get in high school, if you're a 3-sport athlete, we started this 6-7 years ago where you get a patch for that each year. We're a school that is one of the smallest in our conference. This is the last year for our participation in the Sagamore Conference. Most of us know at this point that next year we go to the newly formed Monon Athletic Conference, or the MAC, with Greencastle, Cascade, and North Putnam replacing Danville, Tri-West, and Lebanon. But we have one more year in the Sagamore Conference to win as many of those championships as possible, which our athletes are fired up to do. These are our 3-sport athletes. There's 48 of them in the 9th through 12th grade. And again, school our size, if we have specialization, we're not going to be nearly as successful as if we spread it out across the board. So very proud of this group. A couple things that you'll see as you go into athletic events this year. 2 of our gym floors have been refinished. The junior high gym is completely redone. It looks totally different, much lighter in there. That's the bottom left. It still kind of looks like a Pac-Man, lines everywhere, but it's gotten a lot more cleaned up and defined. And our main gym was resurfaced. What you'll notice about those gym floors is they're what they call a satin or matte finish. They almost look like a matte football helmet now. They do not have the gloss. When you look at them, you don't see the lights shining down on them. It's a different look, but from a traction perspective, it's sort of the new thing. So we've gone to that. A lot of other things, different uniforms that have been added. The wrestling room, the wall has been knocked out of it to basically double the space for the wrestling team. All that extra space up there will have mats on it as well. And that's largely due to the success of the wrestling program and Coach Mike Sill and the youth program and the numbers. The numbers are outstanding in that program. So those are some things we have that you'll see around. You want to go? While she does that, I'll continue. Just let me know. Yell at me like you do every day, like 10 times a day. Anyway, AEDs, state law last year, excellent law. I talked about it last year. I think it's great. We may not always agree with every law. I don't know who can be upset about this one. Basically, the law states that you need to have an AED available everywhere that you're doing any kind of athletic event, where you could get that AED applied in 3 minutes. And so what we have is AEDs at our soccer concessions, our baseball and softball concessions, our track, football, and tennis concession stand out there. Our trainer carries one around with her, and our cross-country and golf teams also, the coaches carry them around. So they have mobile ones all the time that they take to meets. So I think it's a great law and something that, as a parent, you can feel good about knowing that your athletes are participating close to those. Where'd she go? Oh, still up there. Okay. Okay. Corporate sponsorships. We put this out here in our main gym. You'll see the wall. This has been about 7 years in the making at this point. We're up to 28 corporate sponsorships. If you know somebody, a business, your business, anybody's business that you know, we're willing to go to a fourth row. All of this money goes directly back to the athletes, and we've had a lot of success with it. And they also would get on the gym wall, but also in our program books. We have those seasonal program books, not just our rosters, but those actual books where ads can go in as well. So just if there's anybody reach out to the athletic department, and we'll gladly get them set up. We also have spotlight ads that go in our programs. You can find these ads on WeBoAthletics.com and turn them in to the athletic department, and we will put different spotlights ads where you can personalize it for seniors or your different athletes as well. So those are two ways to give back to the athletic department. You good? 236-9220. So the last four are 9220. Man. Yeah. First 11 minutes, I'm already that boring. Okay, you good? We'll just enter. If I have my back turned to you, just yell at me. We'll keep to mix it up. Okay, one-stop shop for information in the athletic department, WeBoAthletics.com. It looks like this. That's a screenshot of it. All of your important information's over here on the left when you get on there. We'll go through a lot of those things, so I'm not going to talk about any of them while you're looking at this screen. But this is our official website. This is currently our live athletic department store. You have things that just have the WB on it. You also have things that kind of have that larger Weibo Stars logo that we've done this year. This is open until midnight on Sunday, this Sunday, so that we can get it, they can get it done, and we can get it to you in somewhat quick fashion before the fall season starts. But this would be non-sports specific Western Boone gear, and this can be found going back on the other info tab. It can be found there where you would go in to the store. You ready for those? What? Yep. Okay, what we're doing here, this is one we didn't advertise, but we have 3 of these tickets. Basically, you go to WeBoAthletics.com, you look at this, and anything that you want in it, we'll get it for you. Okay, so you just need to decide what you would want if you win, and then email Jen. We good with that? Okay. Thought we'd be a little more excited about that, but there's things that are, worth like $60 on there, Here you go. 236-9080. There's 3 of these. So 236-9099. 9099. And then the last 4 on this one is 9246. 9246. So again, go on there. Jen's actually got a QR code on there. You can just scan right there, decide what you want. If you want to let her know tonight, we'll get those ordered and cover the cost of those for you 3. The rest of you can still order stuff. Final Forums is our athletic registration we should know about. This is where, we've been doing this quite a while now. It's pretty smooth. Final Forms button there on WeebleAthletics.com. You go to that, you set up a parent account, you set up a student account. You have to manage your sports. You can put yourself on any roster that you want. Coaches will then, like if for some reason you don't play, your athlete doesn't play, they'll be able to trim that down. But you can start out by managing your sports, sign off on the student athletic handbook, sign off on all the different forms that we need, and you can submit your athletic physical that way by just uploading it. The more of you that can get in the habit of doing that, it's obviously just less for us to have to scan them. If you bring them and hand them to us in the office or email them, then we do that. But it's pretty simple for you to upload them yourself. And then we still have to go in, we get notified, and we just turn it, we just put in the correct dates on there and turn it green. But if you can start getting the habit more and more of just uploading your own physical, that'll help us greatly. Okay, we've already gone over this, but basically if your student athlete's red, there's some reason why they cannot be participating at this time. If they're green, then they're good to go. You will every so often run into a red, for some reason, like you're a transfer student and you have everything in, but we don't have the IHSAA transfer done, and I stay up at night and have nightmares of playing an athletic transfer, I don't know, like in a football game against Lebanon or something, and then we have to forfeit the game. So we turn people red so that doesn't happen. So yeah, I don't know why I spoke that into, but yeah, these are the things that keep me up. So you might be red for reasons like that, but we just take it very serious in regards that if you're green, we're confident you can play in an athletic event. IHSA physical, that can be found on the website as well. We've all seen that. This is the return to play policy by the IHSA, and I know this says IHSA, and you might think, if you're kind of newer, in 6th or 7th grade, like that doesn't apply to me. As a junior, senior high, we apply the IHSA rules down to all the way through 6th grade. So everybody plays under one umbrella there. So basically, if you get into like a situation where an athlete has a concussion, for instance, or they're out with an injury, and they get to a point where they miss more than 8 consecutive practices, there's a certain number of practices that the IHSA medical advisory team has decided that they need to get back into conditioning or get back into shape. So you run into this if your athlete gets injured for a long period of time. We ran into it a lot with COVID. We'd have somebody out for 10 days in quarantine and they'd have to come back. This is where this rule became like known to everybody. And it's now at this point 2 and 3. That's something that you'll end up working with Sarah on, or us, if you get into that situation. The practices that are needed to participate in the contest last year went from 10 to 8. So now, like in the fall, they need to have 8 practices before they can participate in a game or a match or whatever it is. If they're going from one season to the other, they only need 5. Like for instance, if you're going, you play soccer in the fall and then you're going to play basketball in the winter, you only need 5 practices in between those seasons. But if you did not play the previous season or you're a fall sport athlete, you need 8. So those are 2 things that are across the board statewide. You ready? Flag. 9134. 9134. Okay, on the website, the other tab is where you're going to find a lot of the things we've just talked about. The athletic physical form, the if we have a web store open, start dates for different seasons. Right now, the junior high start dates are up there for junior high sports that haven't started yet. All of that. So the other sports tab is kind of where you find everything that you need outside of Final Forms and tickets and the things that are on the top. All right, the travel consent form is something that we went to 4 or 5 years ago that makes it electronic for you. Every coach decides what their travel policy is. Okay, for instance, a coach can say, my team travels to and from the events together, and that's what they do. They can say, we're playing at Harrison and Lafayette, and that's a long trip back, and I got multiple athletes that live in different parts of the county. I'm just totally fine with parents signing kids out and taking them home. They could say that at different points. It's their job to let you know what their policy is. But if they allow you to take them home, or you have an emergency situation or something that arises, then you fill out the travel consent form, which is found in the other info tab. Travel consent at the top, right there. Click on that. It populates a Google form. You fill it out. And the only thing that we ask is that you do not just go in there at the beginning of the season and fill out every date. The reason for that is each of these submissions populates automatically onto a Google sheet that we make the coaches have access to live. So if you're standing at an athletic event at the end of the event and you walk up to your coach and say, hey, I just signed so-and-so out, they can go to the Google sheet and they can see it live. But if we have a bunch of people doing dates in advance, they can't find it. And we go in there every day and take out old ones, take out the night befores, so it's always fresh for them. So just do it event by event. But coaches will identify what that is. But it's very clean and easy. There's not you got to do it the day before. There's nothing like that. You can do it the day of, and they can see it live. Okay, all sports passes are also on the website. To make it a little bigger here, under registrations, right there, you go to registrations, you go to all sports passes, and it identifies different ones: senior pass, family pass, all of that. And you can do that electronically. You can also come into the athletic office and fill out the paper form still, pay by check if you would like, but you can now pay online, credit card, comes to us automatically. We can create the card for you and have it ready, all right? And those are still like credit cards for us. There's a lot of schools that are we use Ticket, we use EventLink. And the one thing that, if you use this, you will get an EventLink pass emailed to you. You don't use that. Some schools do use that if they have they live in a place where wireless and there's actually a signal that works. But that's not here. So we still do the old credit cards where we order them and we give them to you. So that scanned one, it won't work. But we've tried every hotspot. Yeah, during COVID, I thought we were going to just spearhead e-tickets. I thought I was ahead of the game, and then many of you spoke. Keep cash, keep credit cards. So that's what we do. Okay. With that, home events, we're cash only at the gate, okay, just so we don't have to deal with all of that. But you can purchase. Every event has a ticket, electronic ticket. Yeah, we have a QR code at the ticket booths. So you are welcome to do it that way. It's self-validating. You just show the ticket taker. But up top there, the third one says tickets and passes. So you go there, and I'll show you. So if you go to tickets and passes, you'll get a list of tickets like this. And you can do it pretty simply, where you plug in your email or your phone number, and you'll get a ticket emailed to you or texted to you, and you can show that, not a problem. But we want to cover all of you that want to still do cash and all of that. So do it either way, I guess is what I'm saying. Best way to say it. We have either option for you at the gates. One thing just to keep in mind, that a lot of schools are cashless. So, know that in advance. And, a lot of schools are EventLink. I think North Montgomery is one of 2 schools in the entire state that is still GoFan. So you got to have some different logins for that. But if you have the EventLink app, anything that up there that's listed that's like got a black box, that's an opposing school that uses EventLink, and on our website it'll show up. So check that first, and then if you don't see it there, then go to their website and you'll find it. But they're all different. Okay. Parent communication, just something for you to keep in mind with Final Forms. Athletic department, I send everything. Obviously, we have our social media on our website, but I'm going to send cancellations and things like parent meetings and all of that through Final Forms. This year, they have added a text option to Final Forms. So you're going to have the option in your account to opt in or out of that. So when I send those emails out about cancellations or whatever that many of you have seen, or the parent meeting or whatever it is, I always send emails. I'll send an email, but I'll also send the text message, and it comes as a link, and it just links to like the email body, like the same thing. But some people have called for that where, hey, we don't always check our email, but like, hey, a text message comes up, that'd be great. So you can opt out of that if you want, and you would still just get the email. So that's going to be fully up to you on whether you do that. It'll ask you whether you want to opt out or not. But I will be sending everything as an email and text, and then if you opt into text, it'll come to you that way. Make sense? Okay. And then obviously we have X or Twitter, Instagram, and the Facebook page, and all of those are just informational. We're not managing the Facebook page and answering questions on there. There's just 2 of us, so we will just call us or stop in, or we'll do it that way. But those are just sending out information for you through those. I would recommend, if you haven't, download the EventLink app. I'm telling you, like, sometimes people are scared of technology. I get it. But if you download this app, we put everything in our athletic facilities into there. And you can say, hey, if I have a golfer and a wrestler and a baseball player, I can just subscribe to those 3 schedules, and I would have all of the practices and games for those 3 schedules everywhere. What facility it is, all of that. You can sync it up to your phone calendar. So I highly recommend it. Plus, it sets you up to be able to do tickets at either our home sites or at the away events. Okay. This, long story short here with all of this, we know athletes are going to stay after school. From a game day food perspective, just take care of your athletes, not the teams or others. And, at the athletic office, we would appreciate if you don't stop in with the Subway sandwich and say, hey, can you refrigerate this for my kid till after school? Just get it to them after school if you want, and kind of take care of your child when it comes to food. This is time to wake up, because this is new. Okay, so those of you that have done this 7 times, this is new. 10:45 used to be the arrival time. We at school have gone to a 5 homeroom day. So homeroom is every day now. So what we're looking at is the end of 3rd period is now 11 o'clock. So if your student isn't there at the first part of the day, to be able to participate in athletics, extracurriculars that day, they need to be to school by 11. We've just drove 10:45 into people's minds, and now we must drive 11 into your mind. So it's 15 extra minutes the correct way to help out for you. But that's now the arrival time. Okay, just academically, just remember that every athlete has to pass 5 classes. We check grades at the end of each 9 weeks, and then they're either eligible for the next 9 weeks or they're not. There's no midterms or anything like that where we check them. Okay, coaches will stay up with them, make sure they're helping them however they can. But just keep that in mind. That patch over here, we give our academic all-conference members if they have a 3.72 GPI. Okay, I didn't have a 3.72, obviously. GPA, then they get a patch each year that looks like that, so we wanted to show you that. But the grades that are used are the first 9 weeks, the second semester grade, the third 9 weeks in this. Nope. The first 9 weeks, the first semester grade, the third 9 weeks, and the second semester grade. So semester grades trump the second and fourth 9 weeks. Okay, team tryouts, just keep in mind our coaches, they're supported in choosing their teams based off tryouts, levels, numbers, all of that. The athletic department will support coaches in that. Okay, I was a coach, wanted to be able to choose my team. So with that, there are sports that have have tryouts that could involve cutting of rosters. The expectation is that each athlete will be given two sessions to try out, and then it is expected that a coach would notify parents as well of if there's a reason for why they would not be kept. And then obviously if they would try out for a sport and get cut, they're welcome to try out for another sport that same season. Okay, social media. Our coaches, a lot of them have social media accounts. The athletic department has different social media accounts we've talked about. Student athletes have social media accounts. We're all held to a high code of conduct with regard to that. We'd appreciate your help in making sure that your student athletes are holding themselves to a high standard on social media. At the same time, our coaches are oftentimes spotlighting something, giving out information, all of that as well on those team accounts. One thing, just to kind of think about in regards to that is, those accounts are ran by those coaches. They are their own accounts. They've been instructed certain things that they should be doing with that, but it's not necessarily an invitation to negatively comment to those coaches about things. They would have the right in those regards to not respond to those. You need to reach out in the correct manner by phone, email, all of that. Basically, again, those are informational accounts, and the expectation is to remain positive with those accounts. Would you like to do another drawing? I tell you, this, every time I turn around, this clock is moving. All right, we gotta, yeah, stressful. 9214. 9214, we have a Nike fitted hat somewhere in the back. There you go. Okay, discipline hasn't changed. Code of conduct is in the student handbook that you'll sign off on. First, second, and third offense. You can go through all of that. Obviously, a lot of us will never have to deal with that. Conflicting events. I work real hard to prioritize leading the charge in communicating with our performing arts department, choir, band, talking to our National Junior Honor Society sponsors, our FFA sponsors, doing the best possible to not conflict and allow not only multi-sport athletes, but multi-sport or extracurricular participation. So if you're in a situation where there's a conflict, which hopefully doesn't happen very often, it's your right to choose what you would like to go to. We'd expect you to communicate with coaches. Coaches and sponsors are trying to communicate as well and help share athletes. But usually we do a real good job working together on that. We don't run into a whole lot of conflicts. But again, I just wanted to highlight, should be your choice. And we would support you on that. And obviously anything with a grade is prioritized. Okay, if you transition from one sport to another, just make sure we understand that here you can't play two sports at one time. Okay, there are places where you can play soccer and be the field goal kicker. You can't do that here. There are places where you can be a cheerleader and play basketball. You can't do that. All right, so just keep that in mind. And then going from one sport to the other, we have some situations where, like, if you're playing football, we're not going to let you quit football early to start basketball. And at the junior high level, there's some overlapping sports like boys basketball and wrestling, for instance, could overlap. Just using it as an example, if you're a boys basketball player, you'd need to finish that before you'd start wrestling. So we want to finish what we start first. Okay, just parent communication. This is how we do this pretty much school-wide. If you have any concern, we'd like to try to prioritize the athlete being able to communicate to the coach first, to try to advocate for themselves, and then athlete to coach to parent from there, and then athlete, coach, parent to me from there, kind of go along that order. All right. We tell our athletes, or our coaches, unless there's a safety issue involved, something improper, our coaches won't walk past my office and I'm having meetings with you and they don't know about it. If there's not something safety related, you should have gone to them first. And as a former coach, that's what I would have expected. All right. Obviously, if you need to communicate something directly to us from a safety perspective, that all changes things. But just follow that process. Okay, uniforms, something that we deal with. Just I want to kind of reiterate this. It's in the handbook. We run into a situation sometimes. We have junior high grades 6 through 12. I've done the math on this before, but it's 50 to 60 teams across all of that. All right, 50 teams or so. There's a lot of uniforms involved in that. We have to collect those. Coaches are responsible for trying to lead the charge on that. But in the handbook, it does say, you'd be responsible for the replacement of those uniforms or being held out of the next season until we get them. If we hopefully don't have to get to that point, but I just we want to make sure from a uniform perspective, just get those back to us in a timely manner. Maybe they're laundered, maybe they're not. Jen launders them, so we just need them back, is the real bottom line there. If you have a student athlete that would be interested, or you don't even know, but if there may be a freshman, sophomore, and you might think they want to play at the next level collegiately. There's a clearinghouse process, and with Coach Pelly being in the guidance office, we kind of make him the athletic liaison for that. So you would contact Justin Pelly. You can email him, call in, and he can help set you up with it, get your account set up and everything to kind of get that rolling with that clearinghouse. It's never a bad thing to do if you think it could happen down the line. Okay, I think I did it. Letter jackets, you want to hit that, and then, yep.
I'm going to tell you a little bit of how to get your letter jacket, and then when I'm finished, I'm going to introduce Amber Kripe. You can actually come on up. Amber is the president of the Athletic Boosters, and the Athletic Boosters pay for the letter jackets. They buy them in bulk, and then they pass that savings on to you. Letter jackets are $125, and the way that you earn it is when you earn your varsity letter. So in high school, at the end of your season, you have your team banquet, you'll get your WB. At that point, you bring that, you don't have to bring it, but you come see me in the office, and I have sizers, I take some measurements, we decide what size jacket you're going to have. If I have it in stock, you go home with it. If you've paid your $125, made payable to the Athletic Boosters. And then if it's something I don't have in stock, we go ahead and order it. Takes about a month, 4 to 6 weeks for the jackets to come in because they are custom made. That's not just like off of a rack. We've designed the jacket. So they make those jackets once we order them. So anyway, Amber is the president of the Athletic Boosters, and I'm going to let her talk to you just for a little bit.
Thank you very much. Okay, so what do we do? What do the Athletic Boosters do? We exist to support all athletes in all sports. We raise money to fund, as she was saying, awards, trophies, the letter jackets, and when she's low on sizes, she lets the boosters know. We'll get those ordered. We, use the money that we have, get those ordered, because we know that the kids want those as soon as they get their WB. They want to get those ordered, so we do our best to keep some stock over there for them. And then we operate the concession stands. We do soccer, baseball, and softball. We do the main indoor and what we call the snack shack. That's the little one that's across from the athletic office. So we need your help. We need your help with the concessions and the ticket taking. This is how we raise our money. Kona ice trucks, we've had those at football games. We do Pop-A-Shot to raise money at basketball games, and those are just some various things that we do to bring money in. But membership, that is our biggest one. You can go ahead. So join Boosters, because even though it says membership, that doesn't mean you have to come to meetings or anything like that. You're simply participating in supporting student athletes. We have some membership forms out at our table out here. We've got some of our booster members out there, and we have some prizes and giveaways if you sign up tonight. It's simply a donation. There's multiple levels from $10 to however much you want to donate, and that money goes directly back to the athletes. And that's why we would appreciate your membership and your support as a booster. Your name does go in the booklet as well. We do have booster members that hold offices. Those individuals do attend meetings, as well as they get certain passes and things for being a part of the boosters in that capacity. And you'll see we have a couple openings for that. But that's the biggest thing. There's some perks if you do have a senior athlete and you are a member, which means you have paid before December 31st of this year. You can leave it on this. Feel free to scan, see if it works. Fingers crossed. And then there is an opportunity for you for your athlete to earn a $1,000 scholarship. It's a blind draw. There's some criteria, but that happens at the end of the year. We give one female athlete and one male athlete. Pressure's on. $1,000 scholarship as well. So more to come on that. We'll email senior parents along the way on that. And if you have any more questions about memberships, our team's out there. Will you go back one more real quick? Okay, so we break it down. We have a caller for each grade. For those of you that have been here a while, you know you'll get that email that says we need your help. Just because it says sophomore week, my son's a sophomore, but if I'm busy that week because he has events, but I can do 8th grade week, I can sign up to take tickets that week. You can sign up. It's just more so a way for us to kind of monitor, make sure somebody's making sure that everything's filled. So hopefully that link worked, and you'll get it all from a caller in the next couple of days as well. But this is what it looks like if you've never signed up before to volunteer. It's going to say all slots are filled or 0 of 1 slots filled. So, and that is all through Sign Up Genius. If you don't, it does make you create a login account, like an email, if you don't have one. You will also, from time to time, the sports, individual sports, that is who fills our concession stands. So we pay them to give their time back. So it's kind of a win-win for all of us. So sometimes you might see those. And if you're out there and you, on that QR code or the link, and you see girls basketball, and you know your athlete is a girls basketball player, you can go ahead and sign up for that concession, even though you might not have seen the email yet. That's okay. If your child is in that sport, they're going to need help in that. So you're allowed to kind of sign up for anything that's on that link. Okay, go ahead. For volunteering, you do get the voucher. If you do concessions for the sport, they're getting paid that money, so that is true volunteer. But otherwise, you get the $10 voucher. So Jen was saying, the letter jackets are $125. If you have 3 of these, it's going to take off $30 of that jacket. You can use them for concessions. Don't give cash back, but it's still $10 at the concessions. And then if you haven't bought your all sports pass yet, you can use $50 towards that if you've got these laying around, and some other things on there too. So this is our board. We have a couple openings, so we are looking for a sophomore caller, and then an 8th grade caller and a 7th grade closer. So if anybody's interested, each of these opening slots do get a free family all sports pass. So that is part of being this type of member. So there's just the donation and the supporting member, and then there's have a little bit of a job. So these are conjunction with when you see it says sophomore week, senior week, junior week, 7th grade. What that will do is the 7th grade closer goes in, and if there's only 1 concession that week, they only close 1 time. If there's 3 events, they'll close 3 times. And then the caller is the one that just sends the email and says, hey, it's time, we've got events this week, we need some help signing up. So any additional questions, just let us know, but we appreciate each and every parent and each and every volunteer that we have, because we could not run concessions or take tickets without you. So we appreciate it. And our next meeting to kick off the year is, they're in the community room right out here, and it's Monday at 6. I made it.
Yeah. I know, it's pressure, right, when it's ticking? Yeah. It's made it game-like. I like it. Okay, the Booster Club, yeah, they're tremendous as far as, ticket taking and concessions. It cover it for us, and it's a massive help to us, and also with donations that allow us to provide equipment as a self-sustaining athletic department. So we'll leave these up. These are different, the Twitter accounts for different athletic sports, and email addresses for the coaches. We can go back and forth on those. But we have, how many? 4 family sports passes that are up for grabs here. If you've already paid for it, you will be reimbursed if you win. Okay. Well, okay, you have them? People who already won once can win this. Okay. 9261. 9261. We got somebody on that? Okay. That's good. 9232. Good. Okay. 2 for 2.
It's Coach Jones. We'll pull another one.
9246. 9246. Okay. All right. 9150. 9150. And 9164. Great. 9164. So those, if you already bought them, yeah, we'll get those reimbursed. Man, you'd think I planned stuff, right? That's pretty good. We do appreciate you coming, spending 50 minutes with us. There are sign-in sheets at the tables. If you could sign into those, we look forward to seeing everybody. Appreciate all you do. Thank you.